Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about absolute values. So, absolute values is basically the distance away from zero that a number is. So, if I have a number line, which I will draw over here in the top the right corner, if I have, let's say, -3, and I have zero over here, there's a -1 and a -2 in between. So, this -3 is really 1, 2, 3 hops away from zero. So if I were to ask you, what's the absolute value of -3? You would tell me +3 because that is how far it takes to get to zero. So this deals with distance. So distance can never be negative. That's another thing to always keep in mind. So let's look at this point I have right here. If you have a negative inside your absolute value bars, it will become positive. But if you have the negative on the outside, it's going to become a negative. If you have a negative on the inside of the absolute value bars, it is going to be that distance away from zero, so it will be positive. But if the negative is on the outside, it is applied to the number at the very end. So let's dive right into this and try a few examples. So if you'll notice, the absolute value bars are lined straight up and down. They're not parentheses, they're not little brackets, they are straight lines. So do not get them confused with parentheses. So let's look at this first example. The absolute value of 23 is just the positive version of 23. And that is my final answer. I'm going to skip around over here to this one. So I have the absolute value of -14. The negative is on the inside, so that means my answer will become +14. And so let's look at this one in the middle now. I have negative absolute value of 34. So because the negative is on the outside, my final answer will be a -34. You can also perform operations with your absolute values. I have addition and some subtraction here, but the same rules would apply if you are multiplying and dividing. So let's look at this first one right here. We have the absolute value of -12 plus 5. Well, the absolute value of -12 is a +12. And plus 5 is just going to give me 17. So my final answer is just 17. I have a negative absolute value of 3 plus 4 for the next one. So the negative is on the outside. So the whole thing is going to be a -3 plus 4. And that's going to give me an answer of a +1. And let's look at this last one here. I have the absolute value of -20, which turns to a +20. I'll write it over here. Minus the absolute value of 10, which is just 10. So my final answer is going to be a +10. I hope that this tutorial was helpful for you. Please like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below if you have a question for me. And make sure you share this video with a friend who you think could benefit from this video.